You are going to fail, and that's why you'll win. Let's remove the illusion first. You are going to fail, not once, not twice, many times. You will fail publicly. You will fail privately. You will fail when you felt ready. You will fail when you thought this time was different. And that is not motivational. That is inevitable. The difference between average and exceptional is not talent. It is relationship with failure. The lie you were sold. You were taught that success is linear. Work hard, stay positive, believe, win. But reality is brutal. You work hard and nothing happens. You stay disciplined and results are slow. You improve and still get rejected. Failure is not a detour. It is the road. And most people quit because they expected smooth progress. They didn't expect humiliation. They didn't expect doubt. They didn't expect silence after effort. So they retreat. Failure attacks your identity. Failure is painful not because of the event, but because of what it does to your identity. It whispers, maybe you're not that capable. Maybe you're not special. Maybe this isn't for you. And that voice is dangerous, because if you accept it, you shrink. You lower your goals. You play safer. You stop risking. Not because you lack potential, but because you fear repeating pain. Most people are not afraid of hard work. They are afraid of failing again. Embarrassment is a gate. There is a moment in every pursuit where you look foolish. When you start training, you are weak. When you start business, you are inexperienced. When you start speaking, you are awkward. When you start creating, you are invisible. And people notice. Some judge, some doubt, some quietly expect you to quit. Embarrassment filters the weak, because ego cannot tolerate looking small. But growth requires shrinking your ego. You cannot improve what you pretend is already perfect. Failure forces humility. Humility allows adaptation. Adaptation creates progress. The Stoic shift, Stoicism teaches something powerful. You do not control outcome. You control effort. You do not control recognition. You control preparation. You do not control timing. You control consistency. Once you internalize this, failure changes meaning. It stops being a verdict. It becomes feedback. And feedback is neutral. Emotion is what makes it painful. Detached from outcome. Attached to process. That shift alone separates you from the crowd. Pain is data. Failure is information. It shows you where your preparation was weak, where your discipline was inconsistent, where your strategy was flawed. But instead of analyzing, most people personalize. They don't say, my system failed. They say, I failed, and identity collapses. Dangerous individuals separate identity from performance. You are not your last mistake. You are not your last loss. You are the person who responds. That response defines trajectory. The hidden advantage of losing. When you fail, something happens that success does not create. Clarity. You see what doesn't work. You see who supports you. You see your emotional instability. You see your limits. And limits are powerful, because once you see them, you can attack them. Success hides weakness. Failure exposes it. Exposure is uncomfortable, but exposure allows reconstruction. You will doubt yourself. There will be nights when you question everything. When effort feels wasted. When progress feels invisible. When others move ahead faster. Comparison will whisper, they're better. They're ahead. You're behind. And if you let comparison define you, you'll stop. Because comparison magnifies insecurity. Focus on direction, not speed. Speed fluctuates. Direction is chosen. If you are still moving forward, you are not losing. You are refining. The filter effect. Failure is a filter. It removes those who seek comfort. It removes those who chase applause. It removes those who need immediate validation. What remains are the stubborn, the disciplined, the quiet ones, the ones who say, again after rejection, again after embarrassment, again after disappointment. That repetition builds something dangerous. Resilience, and resilience compounds. Success is boring. People romanticize success. They imagine fireworks. They imagine applause. They imagine sudden transformation. Reality is different. Success feels like relief, like calm, like stability earned slowly. It doesn't feel dramatic. It feels deserved. And by the time you succeed, you are no longer the same person who started. Failure changed you, hardened you, refined you, removed your ego, strengthened your discipline. That is why you win. Not because you avoided failure, because you endured it. Most people stop too early. This is the brutal truth. Most people are closer than they think, but they stop at the first real resistance. They interpret difficulty as misalignment. They interpret rejection as impossibility. They interpret delay as destiny. But difficulty is normal. Rejection is normal. Delay is normal. The abnormal behavior is quitting. If you simply outlast emotional reactions, you gain advantage. Not because you're superior, because you're persistent. Emotional maturity. Winning requires emotional maturity. The ability to fail without collapsing. The ability to be criticized without rage. The ability to lose without bitterness. If you cannot regulate emotion, you cannot sustain effort. And sustained effort is the bridge between failure and success. Control your reaction. Slow your breathing. Detach from ego. Return to work. That loop is mastery. The final truth. You are going to fail. Accept it now. Accept embarrassment. Accept delay. Accept criticism. Accept doubt. Once accepted, they lose power because you expect them. And when you expect difficulty, you prepare for it. Preparation reduces shock. Reduced shock increases stability. Stability increases consistency. Consistency builds inevitability. And inevitability creates success. Why you'll win? You'll win because you didn't quit at discomfort. You'll win because you didn't personalize mistakes. You'll win because you refined instead of retreated. You'll win because while others protected their ego, you protected your discipline. Failure did not destroy you. It trained you. It stripped weakness. It built tolerance. It sharpened focus. It removed illusion. And when opportunity finally aligns with preparation, you will not be surprised. You will be ready, calm, grounded, dangerous, because you already survived what most couldn't tolerate. You failed and you kept moving. That is why you win.